let's get right into it. We're going to carry on with our midpoint theorem. And the first thing I want you to do is write down, here's the challenge for the day. Let's see how well you remember, how much you've studied, everything coming together. Write down the words of the midpoint theorem. And then there are those two reasons that you had to use. And I want you to write down those two reasons as well. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. No need to put answers in the chat yet. Just do it there on your own. Write down the midpoint theorem, the words of the midpoint theorem. What does the midpoint theorem say? And then the reasons that go with the midpoint theorem. Remember, you can refer back to your notes from Tuesday if you need a reminder. Okay, so that's about 2 minutes. And I'm just going to go back to where we started on Tuesday and show you your bubble, the blue bubble. The midpoint theorem says the line joining the midpoint of two sides of a triangle is equal to half the length of the third side and parallel to the third side. So those are the words of the midpoint theorem. And then the two reasons is if you are given the midpoints, midpoint theorem is the one reason, and line through midpoint parallel to second side, that's your other reason. Okay, put a thumbs up in the chat if you got that right. Thumbs up in the chat if you got your wording right for your midpoint theorem. Nice, Millie and Lashandre. And then your two reasons, midpoint theorem and line through midpoint parallel to second side. Okay, no worries, Pusiswa, you can try again. Oh, you want to see the blue bubble? Oh, yeah, Annie, you weren't maybe here on Tuesday. So one last time, guys, if you want to take a screenshot of the blue bubble and of the reasons, there you go. Okay, so let's start practicing our questions. Let's see this first question. We have to determine the value of x. Have a look at the question. And in the chat, put down what is the value of x and what is the reason. What is the value of x? And then put your reason there as well. This is for question 1. X is 6. Midpoint theorem. Good stuff. Well done. Let's go on to the next one. X, what is x equal to? And put your reason. Come, let's get some more answers, everybody. It's time to wake up and do some maths. X is 3, midpoint theorem. Okay, and I'm gonna, sorry, the x is over there. So VZ is x, and put your reason, and I'm gonna add a y as well. So for x and for y, put down the value and your reason. Give a reason, Sipabale. Come guys, what is x equal to? And then also give your reason. Nice, Lydia, but I want to see some reasons. Think carefully, guys. So let's have a look. We had the 2 midpoints here. And there we use the reason midpoint theorem. Now we've got given the midpoints. Remember, we always look at the information that's given, and then we draw our conclusion from there. So here we have the midpoint. The lines are parallel, and this is 2, and this is 4. So Melly's got it right. X is 2.5 and y is 4 because of line through midpoint parallel to second side. Well done, Melly. That is excellent, everyone. So you see what the difference is? When we are given the midpoints, we use the midpoint theorem, and when we are given this, the side that's parallel, then we use that reason, line through midpoint parallel to second side. So that little gold star is for Melly. Well done. Okay, so x is going to be 2,5, midpoint theorem. And y is also equal to 4. There I write the wrong thing. Both of these you can write line through midpoint parallel to second side. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to see if we can get 5 in a row right. And you're going to first do it on your own, over by yourself, quietly. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do all of these. There are 5 of them, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do them. Okay, and all you have to do is write down the length of the side that's missing. Okay. So, and our 2 minutes are going to start right now. Go. Just don't put anything in the chat. No, don't put it in the chat, Claudia. Just do it there by yourself in 2 minutes. And when you are done, you can throw a thumbs up at me. Okay, so maybe I should have made this a 1-minute challenge.
That was so fast.
Okay, so for those of you who are still busy, you still have a few more seconds left. I should have made it a 1-minute challenge. Okay, so get ready to put answers in the chat. Let's go. So the numbers are funny because I chose the questions that I wanted to use. So that's why we go 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. So question, and we're just going to go with the numbering as it is. So question 2, what is AB equal to? Put it in the chat. 16. Nice. And question 3, if G is equal to 19. Good stuff, because that side is going to be half of HI. And then side X for question 6, 16. And for 7, it is 10. Well done. And for 8, we have 24. Good stuff. Well done, everyone. That was just a fun little thing to make you practice your midpoint theorem. You're going to be so good at it by next week, Thursday, when we are done with the course. Okay, so these next 3 questions require a little bit more thinking, and they're more on the sort of level that you might see in a test and such. Yes, that was the idea, Nazarene, that it was a bit of a race. Okay, so let's have a look at this next question. And I want everyone to just read and familiarize yourself with the question, and then you put your emoji face that says, I've read the question. Put that in the chat when you're done reading. No answers yet, just reading. I see. Where did your eyes go? Well, where did your mouth go, Tata? Tatu, you've got eyes but no mouth. Okay, so in the following diagram, PQ is equal to 2.5. So remember to transfer. The first thing we do is to transfer the written words to the sketch. And whatever is given, you need to do it in one color. Zoom user, if you want us to change your name, let us know. Then you don't have to be anonymous Zoom user. Well, Rona, hold on. We are not there yet. Okay. So PQ is 2.5 and RT is 6.5. So those are the things that are given, and we have X that's given and the 66 that's given, etc. And very importantly, we've got PQ equal to QS and PR equal to RT. So Q is a midpoint, R is a midpoint. So bells should start ringing. We are dealing with the midpoint theorem here. So from that, what are some of the things we can say? Starting with which lines are parallel? Put it in the chat. Which lines are parallel? Come guys, it's not a trick question. There we go. PQ. Wait, am I reading this right? Parallel. PQ and QS. No, not equal. Parallel. Parallel, that's what that means. Who said? QR and ST. There we go. So we make that another color, because that is something that's not given. That is something we conclude from the fact that the midpoints are given. Okay, guys, if you say that PQ and QS are parallel, that is not I think you're confusing parallel and equal. Okay, equal looks like that. And it has, you see these little markers that are on the lines, that means equal. That means they've got the same length. So what length will QS be? Put that in the chat. What length is QS? QS Amukelani is 2.5. Good stuff. And then what is PR? Remember, we just go on a fact-finding mission, 6.5. Good stuff. Okay, so let's start with X. What will the value of X be? I want someone to raise their hand and help us out. How are we going to find X? Put your hand up so that you can tell us how we're going to find the value of X. Hopolang, hi there. You can unmute Hopolang.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, since we already have 2 degrees for the triangle PST, you're gonna say 180 minus 90 degrees minus 66 degrees, which is gonna give you 24 degrees.
24 degrees for angle T. That's right. Okay, and then?
And then we find what's this? Corresponding angles. That means that angle X is gonna be 24 also.
Beautiful. Well done, Hopolang. Okay, now let's write that whole story down nicely with all our reasons. So we're going to start with angle T is equal to 24 degrees, and that is angle sum of triangle. So statement, reason. Our next statement is going to be that X is 24, and that is because of corresponding angles, and you must say that QR is parallel to ST. Okay, excellent. So who's going to do Y for us? Put up your hand if you can do Y. Pabalo, we just solved for X. X is not 30, it is 24. Who wants to do Y for us? Put your hand up if you want to do Y. Sibabale, put your hand up. Tell us how you're going to do it. Hopolang, are you going to go again? Okay. Let's hear Hopolang.
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
We're going to use the theorem of Pythagoras.
Okay.
We're going to say side squared is going to be hypotenuse squared minus side squared, which is going to be 5 squared plus what's it called? 13 squared. And then minus 13 squared, which is 25 minus 168.
69, I think, yeah.
I'm sorry. So 169 minus 125 equals 244. And then we square root that, which is going to give us, where's my square root? 6,63. So y equals to 6,63.
Okay, so we're going to say y squared. Well done, Hopelang. Thank you. It's 13 squared minus 5 squared. And the reason for that is Pythag. Yes, I know. For some, you're not the first one, Pabalu, because other people have also said that that looks a bit like 60. Okay, so then y squared is 169 minus 25. So then y squared is 144, and then y is 12. Okay, well done. Nazarene also got y equal to 12. Excellent, guys. And don't forget, we need to say that PQR is 90 degrees. We actually should have said that first. PQR is equal to 90 degrees because of corresponding angles. QR parallel to ST, because angle S and angle PQR will be the same. Okay, good stuff. Let's carry on to the next one. Let's find the length of VY. I'm going to leave you alone with this one for about 3 minutes. Don't put anything in the chat, hold your answers, and then when everyone's done, we'll check in. No, Pitojo, this is not the hurt, this is the challenge. This is the feeling, the great feeling you get when you get it right. This one's going to be so quick and easy, but I want you to do the whole proof, everything with its reasons.
Hello, ma'am.
Who's speaking to me?
It's Eunice, ma'am.
Hi, Eunice.
Hello, ma'am. So I wanted to ask, right?
Yes.
On
yes.
the previous question,
yes.
you used the Pythagoras theorem to find y, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
So when using the Pythagoras theorem, don't we add like y squared is equals to the hypotenuse squared is equals to adjacent squared plus opposite squared? Do we
That's
add
if
or we
we-
subtract?
That's if we do the hypotenuse. But in this case, the hypotenuse was given. It is 13. And PS is 5. So we're gonna subtract. That's why.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Guys, listen to instructions. You are doing this next question. You have to solve for Vy. You're working on your own, holding answers until we check in. Okay, and do the whole question with all reasons, all statements, all reasons. Bom, I hope you now know what we're doing. I did explain again. Good. Yes, Babalo. You can unmute.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh, it's about what Eunice said.
Yes.
But it's going to require you to solve for x. It's still the same. Like, let's say you say, you take the hypotenuse. Say 13 squared equals to 5 squared plus y squared. And then after you do solve for x, it will give you the same answer.
Yes. That's right.
But
For y though.
Yes, it's quicker to subtract.
Yes, you could have set it up like that. That's perfectly fine as well, as long as you know that y is not the hypotenuse, that we would need to go 13 squared minus 5 squared.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Pabalu. Right, guys, let's see who wants to do Vy for us in this next question. Any volunteers? Bom, are you going to go for it? Bom, you can unmute.
I want to try, ma'am. I'm not
Go
really
for
sure.
it.
I
Yes.
answer. But
Do it.
I said that ZY equals to 8 because of the lines through midpoint parallel to second side. Then I said VY is equal to VZ plus ZY. But I didn't give a reason though, because I couldn't remember the reason, if there is a reason.
This is
Then I said,
lovely. This is excellent. Well done, Bom. Well done for using that right reason, for saying that ZY is also 8, because we saw that the lines are parallel. That's given. XZ is parallel to WV, and XZ is 11 and WV is 22. So that's why we use that reason. So this is also 8, and that makes VY equal to 16. You don't have to give a reason because it's kind of obvious, isn't it? Like if that's 8 and that's 8, then it must be 16. Good.
oh, okay.
Thanks, Bom. Yes, Gopolang.
Ma'am, I use different reasons. Can I tell you what those are?
Which reason did you use? Because it should only be this one.
Ma'am, because 22 is half. I mean, yeah, it's when you half it, it's 11. It shows that xy and xz is the midpoint of the two lines. So since they are the midpoint, it shows that bz is going to be equal to zy, and that together is going to be 16.
Yes, as long as you use that reason line through midpoint parallel to second side.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, well done. Right, guys, here's the last one. It's a little bit of a challenge that we're going to end off on, but I think you guys can deal with it. And we have, there's just a piece of information missing here, which I'm going to add. And we can say that. Okay. This one's going to make you think. So I'm going to leave you to think for about a minute and go and figure out what theorem we're using, fill in some other angles with your theorem, and then we're going to see what we can do. So it says that two angles are given. Angle B is equal to 5p and angle D is equal to 50. So determine the value of angle AEC in terms of P. Okay, so we're going to do this together, but I want you to think about it for a bit first. How are you going to do it? We'll take 2 minutes, well, a minute, and then we'll do it together. If you have any ideas, get them ready. If you want to share them, raise your hand, pop them in the chat. And always remember, if you don't know where to start or what to do, start with what is given. And then find other angles and things that are equal to them. Okay, so if you want to put something in the chat, if you have any ideas about what we should do, please go for it. Put it in the chat now. First, let's say which lines will be parallel. Which lines will be parallel? Put it in the chat if you know which lines will be parallel. EC and AB, wonderful, everybody. We are catching on with this midpoint theorem. EC and AB, or AB and EC. Okay, now that we've got those, let's write them down with our reason. AB is parallel to EC. And what will our reason be here? This will be midpoint theorem because the midpoints are given. So now that helps a lot. Once we have those parallel lines, which angles will be equal? So we've got this angle over here, that's 5p. Which other angle will also be 5p? Put it in the chat if you know. Which other angle will be equal to 5p? Angle C, I agree. Angle C. So which is the one that we're actually looking for? The one that's asked in the question. It's angle AEC. This one here. We have to write it in terms of P. Now remember, when we write an angle in terms of a variable, it just means that it's not going to have an actual number. It's going to have variables in its answer. Okay. So if that is 5p, can we figure out what this angle here is? DEC. How would you figure out DEC? DEC can't be 50. Let's think again. So I'm going to write so long because we are writing our proof as we go, that angle ECD is equal to 5p, and that is corresponding angles EC parallel to AB. Don't know, guys, I think you are guessing. I don't know where these numbers are coming from, but if we wanted to determine this angle, angle DEC, we would have to say DEC is equal to 180 degrees minus 50 minus 5p. So I'm not sure how the 26 and all of that is coming about, because we only have 50 and 5p, and if we wanted to know what DEC was, we need to actually use some algebra. 5p is not 90 because it's not given that it's 90, so we can't assume, and the best we can do is say that DEC is 130 minus 5p. You guys must be very careful. I think you are making up numbers, and we can't make up numbers. Remember, we are making up things. If we are looking for the value of DEC, then we have 180. We can only figure out what DEC is because it is angle sum of triangle. Okay, now how on earth are you getting 26? Millie, you guys who are saying it's 26, how are you getting that? I want to know. Hopolang, let's hear.
Well, ma'am, I didn't get 26. I got 104.
How did you do that?
I said DEC equals to 180 degrees minus 50 degrees minus 5p. And then
Yes.
I put 5p on one side and subtracted 180 degrees of 50, which gave me 130, right?
Okay, but look here, we've got angle DEC here. Where did angle DEC go when you took minus 5p to the other side? We are saying that DEC, this angle here, is 130 minus 5p. So be careful. You took the DEC and I'm not sure where it went. Hannah, you have your hand up. Hannah, you can unmute.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi there.
Ma'am.
Yes. Go for it, Hannah.
Ma'am.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I think I figured out how some of them are getting 26.
Yeah.
So what they did was they took the angle DEC and I think they said equals to 180 minus 50 minus 5p. And then they said 130 minus 5p, and then took the 5p and put it on the other side to make it positive, and then they divided the 5 by 5p to get rid of the 5 to make it p, and then divided the 130 by 5, which gets you 26.
But we can't do that because where did the DEC go?
Yeah, I don't know.
You see. Do you have other suggestions? What did you do?
I did it the same way as the last learner, and I'm not really sure either. Sorry.
Yeah, so the DEC, I think what everyone's doing is that they're ignoring the DEC and then just taking it, the 5p over to the other side, and we can't do that because where did it go? It's still there. So DEC is equal to t minus 5p. You guys are thinking that you must solve there for p, but you can't solve for p because you have essentially another variable there, DEC. So what we instead need to do is leave the DEC as 130 minus 5p because it says that we are going to get an answer in terms of p. Don't try and solve for it by just throwing the DEC away. You leave it like that. And when we are now going to solve for AEC, which is the angle that we are looking for, we say that DEC plus AEC, so these two angles together, must add up to 180 because it's angles on a straight line. And AEC, what we're going to get then, if we get AEC, because AEC is what we are solving for, that's what we need to get by itself. So we get it by itself by going AEC is 180 minus angle DEC. And we know now that DEC is 130 minus 5p, and we're going to substitute that in there. Okay, so don't solve for p in this step because you can't. You have another variable here that you can't just ignore. So AEC then, which is the angle we are solving for, is 180 minus 130 minus 5p. That we get from here, right? Because that's what we said DEC was. And now we just need to simplify a little bit. So you get 180 minus 130 plus 5p. And that gives us that it's 50 plus 5p. And that is fine because we don't get an actual value for angle AEC. We just get it in terms of p. You're going to have a p in your answer if it says solve for it in terms of p. Okay, right. I think that is all we have time for.